did you come to create Remembrance of Things Past?
Well, last year I started going through a lot of old pictures, old slides I'd taken 30 years ago, Super 8 from 20 years ago, and tried to get them organized. I also had a lot of old family pictures that I had come into, and I found myself particularly fascinated with these very old pictures, especially of my great-grandparents. And I remember a comment that my father had made about one great-grandmother, how after her husband had died, she really scandalized the family, became quite a rebel, and went and lived as a squatter in Dollarton. And this just wasn't something that people in my father's family did. And I realized it was about the time that Malcolm Lowry was writing there, writing under the volcano. So I found this quite interesting. But I have no other information about her. I just have this picture and this comment that my father made many years ago. And I'm really sorry not to have those stories or not to know more. So I began to realize just how important it was to preserve family history.
Very professional. It's amazing what you can do with digital video.
It really is. The quality of the video is much higher. And since you edit on a computer, you can put in all sorts of very professional looking things, like titles, like transition effects, fade-ins, cross-dissolves, fade-outs, and also pictures. You can put in Super 8, you can put in old slides, music if you like. So it becomes a very interesting final product for people.
How do you go about getting people to remember and talk about their past?
Well, I developed this little booklet I call Memory Triggers. And what this is a number of checklists that people take a look at, check off. There's a space for some notes. And then I know what to talk about and what to ask them about. I find this way I know what they do want to talk about, what they're interested in. And it also, people have told me that it's worked very well for them because they've remembered things they hadn't thought about for many, many years. So it's been a very effective way to get people thinking, and also very helpful for me as an interviewer.
Do you find people don't feel they have much to talk about? That they don't feel their lives have been interesting enough?
Well, initially, some people feel this way. In fact, quite a few people feel this way. I think it's a common thing to feel. But I haven't found that to be the case at all. I found when we get started on this, after they've done the memory triggers, they find they have all sorts of things to talk about. And they're really quite amazed at how much they have to say. And really, how many things they've lived through and how eventful their life has been. They thought they had lived a very dull, uninteresting life. But they come to realize, in fact, their lives have been eventful and interesting.
Of course, you were an English teacher for 30 years, so you have lots of practice leading a discussion.
Yes, well, compared to getting reluctant adolescents to talk about poetry, I find this child's play, and it's really just tremendous fun. These people have really lived through so much, have so many things to tell, and it's been great. And I think one of the biggest satisfactions of it is honoring the stories that people have and helping them to realize that this is an important legacy to leave to their families. What was the Blitz like?
The Blitz? Well, you know, the first day that war was declared, which was 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, my father was out. He was away somewhere because I think a lot of people were moving things out of London, and the siren sounded. But my young sister and I had gone out. We left my mother and sister, and so there's a war. We were a little nervous about it because my father said we were going to be killed like flies. So we walked off, and the siren sounded. We were absolutely panic-stricken because we had learned, or we were told, next time the sirens went, it meant an air raid. And so we ran into my friend's house, Billy and I, my young sister, and her father was there, and he was hunting around for his gas mask, and he said to us, "You better go and get your gas mask." And so we rushed out of the house again, and we met an air raid warden who said, "Where are you two going?" And we said, "We're going home." He said, "You don't have time." So we had to go Young sister, we laugh about it because she was so nervous, frightened, that as she walked into the house again, she lost control of her legs. She was kicking the furniture as she went by. Anyway, we went back into the friend's house. Nothing happened. All was quiet. And we came out, and this friend had to phone her sister. And this is the days before we had phones in our home, so we went into a telephone box so she could phone her married sister. And while we were there, the all clear went. That frightened us too.
Well, what kinds of things were you doing as part of your service then, during the war?
Oh, then when I joined the Air Force?
Yeah.
Oh,
What,
okay, well...
what were your duties?
Well, we were part of the Air Ministry, and we were called P4 CAS, which is, that was sort of short for casualty. So we dealt, we were over 24 hours a day, and we would get signals in, you know, about the planes, and our particular section had to write up an account of what happened if the plane hadn't come back.
Now, was there any good news sometimes?
Yes.
Yes.
Some would
occasionally good news.
Some actually, I can remember more than once. One actually got to Sweden. Now he obviously came down by parachute, was hidden for a while, helped and managed to get somewhere. This did happen.
So
yes.
it did happen.
It did happen. Yes.
Not that much, though. I
Not
guess.
that much.
No.
Not quite like Hogan's Heroes. I don't.
No, I don't think so. That was romanticized.
Yes. Yeah.
So then, of course, the war ended, and
great excitement.
yes, I bet. So you were in London, obviously.
And then I walked. Well, it ended in '45. I was still in the Air Force. We were both in uniform, and we just walked. We went up to walked around Piccadilly, and then we went to Buckingham Palace.
And everyone was there.
And everyone was there. And you know, they show that so often.
Yes.
And I always say to the kids, I'm there
You were
somewhere.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it quietened down, and we slowly walked home, and it was all, you know, morning, and everywhere, everybody was so happy. The relief, the awareness that you're not going to have to go to air raid shelters anymore and live at least a normal life, because you didn't.
And not have loss of friends
That's right.
and family.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, we knew so many.
The video photo album is not an interview so much. What it is I take a number of old pictures, it could be slides, it could be Super 8, it could be video, and put them together into a tape, and music can be put with it, so you have a photo album on video. And this is something that many copies can be made of, and the whole family can share in. So often these very precious materials that people have, there's just one copy, and so this is a way for everyone to have a copy.
And the bare feet to dancers away 1.5 miles from here. We'd only the one pair of shoes, and we carried the shoes, and we went up the mountain on the bare feet in the summertime. And there was about maybe 14 and 15. They all gathered from all around. We all joined up together. So, oh, them was the best days we ever had.